Good afternoon, my name is Paula Russell. I'm a lecturer here in the School of Architecture, Planning and Environmental Policy, and I'm the director of our MRUP programme. We're delighted to welcome everybody here today, and I think what must be the hottest day of the year, to our the fifth and final event in our Planning Future series, which is celebrating 50 years of planning in UCD. Over the period since 1966, the Planning School in its various guises, through its Masters in Regional and Urban Planning, has produced over 900 graduates, with a further 250 graduates from our BA in Planning, Geography and Environment, which was started in 2005. Our graduates work at all levels of planning throughout the island of Ireland, in the Department of the Environment, in the regional assemblies, in our local authorities. They head up planning consultancies, work for national and international organisations, and contribute every day to creating better and more sustainable places. UCD Planning School is immensely proud of the work that our graduates do both here in Ireland and further afield, where they have made their careers, from Canada to Australia and to many countries across Europe. The topic for today's seminar is Green Cities as Future Cities, and we've put together a really fascinating line of speakers. In organising this event, we look to put together a panel whose work draws on the interface between planning and environmental policy and between planning and urban governance. And I think you'll see that our speakers, Professor Elizabeth Hammond, Professor Annika Agger and Professor Isabel Angelowski, and our chair Ali Grehan, draw from different perspectives and illustrate the interesting and varied research work that has been carried out in cities across the globe, and how academics and practitioners are reflecting on the challenges of the future city and how to make the city greener and more sustainable. And I'm really looking forward to hearing their research insights and thoughts. In addition to looking for a variety of perspectives, we wanted to have a panel that was female-centric, that really could showcase some of the research that's been done by female academics in the field of planning and environmental policy. And I'm really delighted to welcome four eminent female colleagues today, so to counter some of the all-male panels that we've had in the past. And I wanted to reflect just a little bit on gender, because I think it's worth stating that as a school, we strive to ensure that equality and diversity are both embedded in teaching and frame our research work. And likewise, I think it's fair to say the planning profession, through its institutes, really equality and diversity are part of their professional codes of conduct. Yet we still need to continue to address gender equalities in our professional fields, in academia and in the practice of planning. The event did get me to start thinking a little bit about the profile of our graduates and its gender divisions. And I took a little bit of time to look a little bit closer at that. And we've had 903 graduates from the MRUP programme. So in 50 years, we've had 903 graduates. And I wanted to look at, well, what is the division between men and women there? And really interestingly, was 454 female graduates. So literally 50.27% of our graduates were women. So I'm delighted. I was almost cheering when I saw that actually we've just tipped the balance into being in the majority. So we've pretty much an equal number of men and women graduates at master's level. However, we can't be complacent. And it's interesting to look at the actual sort of professional field of planning and to look at our institutional membership and the gender divisions there. Of the sort of circa 740 members of the Irish Planning Institute, it's approximately 60% male and 40% female. The RTPI's membership of about 23,000 is about 65% male and 35% female. So men still dominate in the profession. And in the broader built environment professions, I thought the divisions are even greater. 2006 census, Irish census, in the occupational group architects and town planners, of the 8,865 people who were in that occupational group, 79% were male and 21% were female. So there is some interesting thing that could be, I think, is worthy of some more investigation and exploration to see if there's a reasons for some of these imbalances, and if those imbalances are more maybe in other built environment professions, maybe architecture more than planning. There's also, I suppose, a question of where and what levels planning practitioners, female planning practitioners are at. I did a quick look at some of the private sector planning consultancies listed on the IPI's website, and there was 103 private sector consultancies, and only 12% were visibly headed by a principal that was female. Now again, that hides where there may be senior partners who are women and so on, and I would be very interesting to explore that and see what levels. Is there a glass ceiling in some areas of planning practice? I suppose it's vitally important that there are female role models in all spheres of planning, including in academia, and in academia we're not doing too well, I'm afraid. Looking at the planning schools across the island, they're predominantly, the academics listed are predominantly male. Only 15% of the core academic staff are women, so there's a way to go to even that out. I suppose as educationists, as practitioners, we need to be cognizant of the barriers that remain for women and the opportunities that exist for us in ensuring that future cities are not only green, but inclusive and diverse, and that inclusivity and diversity recognises both gender and how gender is experienced with other identities such as race, ethnicity, class and sexuality. As planners, we need to continue to recognise that the challenges that were originally raised by feminist scholars in the 1970s still remain. Women still earn less than men on average, are still more likely to do more of the domestic chores and take greater responsibility for child and elder care. And many of the key urban challenges do still have a gender dimension. Women are often those when we're looking at an ageing population, and women are often those caring for the elderly, and women live longer, so they're a bigger percentage of those who are elderly. There's access to housing in a tight market is a significant challenge, for example, if you're a single mother. And in relation to things like transportation, we need to look at how non-typical journeys that involve multiple endpoints and drop-offs work, and how a lack of public transport can be a huge barrier to women's mobility. The gendering of space and how space has become gendered is a pertinent issue, and how women sometimes curtail their use of certain spaces because of fears for their safety. From a gender perspective, multidisciplinary approaches and a focus on gender mainstreaming in our planning work may be ways of helping achieve a better future city that is safe, inclusive, well-planned, green and diverse. We need to, I suppose, recognise women's rights and the defence of those. There's been much achieved in planning, but we still need to keep that gender on the agenda in planning. Bearing this in mind, I want to hand over to chairing today's seminar to Ali Grehan. Ali is the embodiment of a positive female role model. She is Dublin City Architect and member of the senior management team in Dublin City Council, and she's been responsible for leading the multidisciplinary City Architects Department, delivering an ambitious urban design and public works programme throughout the city. Ali is at the coalface in relation to working actively on many projects which are dealing with many of the issues I've spoken about. She's been focused on housing delivery mechanisms with Dublin City Council, looking at a range of really exciting initiatives such as the Dublin's bid for World Design Capital in 2014, which now continues as the design innovation platform Pivot Dublin. Ali instigated the Parnell Square Cultural Quarter project and was instrumental as chief architect and senior executive architect in the delivery of Ballymun Regeneration. Ali is a board member of the Irish Architectural Foundation, of A New Productions, and a member of the International Advisory Committee on the Taipei World Design Capital 2016. Indeed, Ali, it's hard to know when you manage to sleep, given the level of multitasking you must do. So without further ado, I'd like to hand you over to Ali and to all our speakers, and, as I say, welcome you all here today.